I'd say that Aaron makes everybody feel okay. That Aaron's impact is that he's an excellent host. We're guests in his country and often right in his own house. We get, 20 or 30 of us into his house, having dinner, dancing. He makes the difficulties of cross-cultural work seem simple. He makes everybody get along, and it's miraculous, really.
He was kind of our guide. He showed us around. He organized the program from Malawi at the time while we were here. Got everything set up of where we were going to go and when, who we were to speak with, all that planning kind of part of it. And then he also acted just as a bit of a support for us. If we didn't know what we were supposed to do or, what we needed or where they needed us, he just, supported us every step of the way along, stopping at all the schools, talking to the different teachers, going to the different communities, and just making us feel really comfortable the whole time we were there.
Without him, I think the trip would have been very different, and I don't think we would have got the same experience and the same understanding of what Malawi is, and appreciation of the culture and the people, and realizing that they're a lot like we are, and maybe it's not us and them, we're all the same, so we're not separate. So he made that more real for us.
We had been on the airplane for around 30 hours waiting in airports and flying, and everyone was tired and nervous to be in a new country. And as soon as we stepped into the airport, there was Aaron, and he was just so happy to see us, and the joy that he showed towards us being there was very comforting and just helped everyone relax and set a really great standard for the trip.
He demonstrated how to interact with our locals in the rural areas while remaining culturally sensitive, and he just modeled how to be in this environment really, really well and made everything really comfortable.
My most memorable moment with Aaron is very, very fond. When we went to Malawi, we had a project and we had to come with a question, and we had to get that question answered while we were in Malawi. And it was hard to get questions answered there because we didn't speak the same language that they spoke. And so Aaron took the time to sit down one-on-one with me multiple times for an hour at least and translate with somebody else from Malawi and be able to make a connection with them and to be able to learn what I needed to learn to fulfill all my expectations in Malawi.
I have many favorite memories of Aaron in Malawi because we've spent a lot of time together over the years, but I think my favorite one was on our last trip in 2012. We decided sort of at the last minute to take a boat ride, a cruise down the river, and it was Aaron's first time on a boat, I believe. So to watch the excitement and enthusiasm on his face as we traveled down the river and saw things from a whole different perspective, it was pretty neat to see.
During our education time in the rural areas, they would put on community events and show us kind of their rural culture and dances, and Aaron would be the first one to get up there and to start dancing with all the community members, and he really just modeled for us how to act and that it was okay to participate with everybody, and that was my most memorable experience of him.
So my most memorable moment of the trip was the moose song. Aaron really pushed me. He wanted us to do some sort of song and dance type thing to incorporate the Canadian culture, which isn't as big here as it is there. And so one thing I came up with was this moose song, and we ended up doing it in every class we went to, every school that we did. And it was the most ridiculous, silly song you could come up with, and I kind of embarrassed myself, but they loved it, and he made me feel really special doing it, and it was a lot of fun.
My most memorable moment with Aaron on the trip came near the end, where he helped me reach out to a boy in one of our last schools who had mobility issues. He started, when I brought up the issue, he started doing translating, figuring out the information, being able to talk with the principal, find out more details. And then as we were relaxing our last few days at the beach, he took phone calls, figured it out. He helped me navigate the healthcare system over there and figure out how we could help this boy. And then when I returned back to Canada, we were able to wire money over to Aaron. He was able to then purchase the wheelchair for the boy and return the boy home with his mother from the main capital back to their home in the rural area. And he drove them out by himself. He did all of that. And then because we weren't sure of the full cost that would come, we wired a bit of extra money over. And my mom said, use it for whatever you see fit. If you feel like you need to get gas, do that, or return it to donate it back to the museums of Malawi where Aaron works at. do whatever you want with that. So Aaron emailed back to us and told us that he'd use the money to purchase a pair of shoes for the boy, as he had never had a pair of shoes before. So that was one of those moments that I realized that that would not have happened if it wasn't for Aaron, and I'm so grateful for everything he did in that.
Well, you know, it's hard to pick from favorite moments because Aaron's kind of a performer too, and I noticed this when he was lecturing grade 7, standard 7 students in Malawi about mosquitoes and malaria and HIV. But where he really enters his element is in the sex education classes for the parents. So when he does these sex education classes, people line up around the building to get in because he's trying to prevent HIV infection and also talk about many things to do with sexuality that is not spoken of in Malawi. And he does this by performing the most incredible things. I don't even think I can speak about it on this video, but that's my favorite memory, is watching Aaron, show people all about sex education.
As an educator, I found that Aaron is a great person to learn from. He is a very good teacher himself, and to watch his interactions with the Canadian students, with the Malawian children, with the other teachers and educators and community members in Malawi has been a wonderful experience in participating, in being interactive and enthusiastic. So it's been a really good experience to watch him in action.
He was so welcoming, and he made everybody feel that they were a part of the experience, and that them as an individual made such a big difference to what we were doing there. He made everyone feel important and a part of everything. Even though we all were different and we all had different things to bring, he made each of us feel so important.